links available. Okay, so that 100 links will be the capital N. Existing 100 is available, so that is capital N. Okay. Then what is this S? S is the estimate of the spatial standard deviation of the link volumes. Okay. So what should be the approximate standard deviation of the link volume? Okay. Every locations have already volumes are earlier available to us, or from some information from previous studies we can know what is the standard deviation. So you have to take the average standard deviation of the each of the links. D is the allowable range of error. How much error you are allowing for standard deviation calculation. And then what is the alpha? Alpha is the significance levels. Like I said, 95% confidence level. If I say 95% confidence level, then alpha is the significance level, and that value will be 1 minus 0.95. That is 0.05, or we can say 5%. Okay. So alpha is the significance level. Okay. So you write down the meaning of this. Here T equal to, I am not writing, you write down value of the students T distribution. Value of the students T distribution with 1 minus alpha by 2 confidence level. With 1 minus alpha by 2 confidence level and n minus 1 degree of freedom. Okay, so n minus 1 degree of freedom and 1 minus alpha by 2. So now if you take that your significance level is 5%. So we want to do the 5% significance level. Then you have to find out the confidence level is how much? 1 minus 0.05 by 2. That means how much? 0.975, or we can say it will be 97.5%. Okay, so this is how we can calculate it. Okay. So other parameter you write down N, T, then capital N you write down capital N equal to total number of links. Total number of links from which a sample has to be selected. A sample has to be selected. So there may be 100 say links are available. So 100 say how many you have to select. Okay, out of 100. That's what. Then alpha equal to significance level. Significance level. Then what is left? S equal to standard deviation. Simply write down standard deviation. Standard deviation of the link volumes. Okay, and the last one is the accepted or allowable range of error. Accepted or allowable range of error. So once we have this information, then simply we can use this equation and we can find out the number of count stations required for a particular location. Okay. Straightforward. We will take in problem. We'll take a problem and we'll see how can we use this information. Okay. The question I am reading it, and then I will simply write down the data given, and then the straightforward we can take the equation and we can solve the problem. Question is like that. To determine a representative value for the average daily traffic on 100 highway links. Okay, there are 100 highway links given that have similar volume characteristics. Almost all these highway links have similar characteristics, not exactly the same, but almost similar characteristics. It was decided to collect 24-hour volume counts on a random sample of these links. Okay, so it was decided that 24 hours volume count will be done. Now, out of 100 links, our objective is that from how many location or from how many links we have to collect the data. The question is estimates of mean and standard deviation of the link volume for the type of highways in which these links are located are given. Determine the minimum number of stations at which volume count should be taken if a 95-5 precision level is required with a 10% allowable error. 95-5, decide that the precision level 95-5. What does it mean? It means that 95% confidence level, 95% confidence level and 5% significance level. Okay, significance level. Maybe somewhere you can find this also. The precision level 95-5. It indicates that it is talking about the confidence level 95% and significance level 5%. If it is say 90-10, that means 90% confidence levels and 10% significance level. Okay, I am reading the question as it is given. What is given, I am reading again. To determine a representative value for the ADT on 100 highway links that have similar volume characteristics, it was decided to collect 24-hour volume counts on a random sample of these links. Estimate of mean and standard deviation of the link volume for the type of highways in which these links are located are 32,500 and 5,500 respectively. Determine the minimum number of stations at which volume count should be taken if a 95-5 precision level is required with a 10% allowable error. So what are given? Given total number of links available is given. That means capital N is given in this problem. Capital N is given how much? 100. Okay. With a allowable error. Allowable error is how much? 10%. That means small d is given how much? Given it is 10%. Then 95-5 precision level. It means what? It means the alpha value is given how much? Straightforward, I can write 5%, or I can write in this way also 100 minus 95%. Okay, its meaning is same. Then what is given? Mean and standard deviations are given. I don't need mean in this equation. In the equation, what is required? Required standard deviation. What is the standard deviation given? It is said mean and standard deviation are 32,500 and 5,500 respectively. So the standard deviation I need. Standard deviation is given 5,500. Okay. Mean also let us write down mean. Mean is given how much? 32,500. Okay. So to solve the problem, we have to refer to the T distribution table. I have given last class. If you have copied it, fine. Otherwise, I will just refer it from the book itself. It is given. Then D is given how much? D is given 10%. 10% of what? 10% of the mean value it will be. So we can find out that 10% of mean means error here we need to find out in absolute terms, not in terms of percentage, because standard deviation in terms of absolute term. Okay, it is given 5,500. So error value also should be in terms of absolute term rather than finding out the percentage term. So that's why we are finding out in terms of absolute value. So 10% of means what? 10% of what is the mean? 32,500. What is that value? That value comes out 3250. Okay, so this is the error that is permitted. Okay. Now, if you just look at the previous equation, we need to get this value from the T distribution table. Okay, what is this value? That is T. We need to find out the value of T alpha by 2 n minus 1. Here alpha is how much? 5%, right? So it will be T, either you can write 2.5 or it will be basically 0.0025. N is how much? 100. So n minus 1 means 99. With 99 degree of freedom, right, and 2.5 as a significance level. Ultimately alpha by 2 we have to check. Significance level, we have to see the T distribution table and we have to find out what is this value. Okay. Last class note, let me find out. It is here already. Last class was on which date? Do you remember? Which date it was? Last class I have shown you, or before that? On T distribution table I have shown you, if you remember. कब दिखाया था? ये होगा 10th October.
31 को है सर.
31 को दिख रहा है यहाँ पे? नहीं दिख रहा. 1 अक्टूबर में सेव नहीं हुआ था इसमें. I think I have not saved. Okay, no problem. I will just quickly download it. Just give me a moment. Distribution 99 degree of freedom. Alpha is 1 degree of 2.5. 1.025%. Now board is visible to you? Can you see the board?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Table,
Yes, sir.
table is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we need to find the t distribution, that is t value for alpha by 2 and n minus 1. Our alpha is 5%, that means t will be how much? 5% by 2 and 100 minus 1. What does it? This t 5% is 0.05 by 2 is 0.025 and 99. So 99 degree of freedom, and this significance will be 0.025. Okay. So basically alpha by 2, whenever it is talking about, it is basically talking about one side, one tail. Okay, if you just remember this is a normal distribution curve and this is the mean value. Okay, so this is a tail, this is one side of tail and this is another side of tail. Okay, this is plus side and this is minus side. Generally, okay, from the in terms of mean, instead of, if you go to the right side it will increase, if you go to the left side it will decrease. Okay, so these two, combining these two together, we call them as a two tail. Okay, so when it is talking about alpha by 2, it is talking about for one side, so it is one tail. Okay, so if you see here, one tail, this is one tail. One tail alpha by 2 means 0.025, so this is 0.025. Okay, for 0.025 and degree of freedom 99, degree of freedom 99 is almost, you can say, 100. So if I put the scale, here if I put it, this is the line and this is the line. Okay, so check almost how much this value. Is this visible? The circle, can you see it? What is the value? 1.984. Okay, because 99, so it will be little less. Okay, approximately we can say it is 1.984 from this table. Okay, so to go back, so this value we got how much? This value from the table, t equal to 0.025 or 2.5% basically, and this 99, that value comes out from the t value as 1.98. Okay, now we can put in the equations all the values and we can calculate. What are the equation? Equation is n equal to, first is t square, that means 1.984 square into s square. What is s? S value we have written how much? 5,500 square, divided by d value we have calculated how much, that on 3250 square, divided by 1 plus 1 divided by n. 1 divided by n means 1 divided by 100 into, what was that? Again 1.984 square into, again a square by d square, 5,500 square divided by 3250. Okay, do this calculation. It's given here like 11.27 top and bottom is coming 1.11, so that's giving around 10.1. Okay, so 10.1 means 10 is it's okay, we can say, or otherwise for a better precision we will go for 11. Okay, we will take n value as 11. That means at least 11 number of stations out of 100, at least 11 number of stations is to be taken for the survey. And we know that for each particular location, for one survey, there should be minimum of 30 samples. Okay, so you can write like that at least 11 number of locations are to be chosen, and the minimum sample to be collected from each location is 30. 11 number of stations are to be chosen and minimum sample from each station is to be 30. Okay, so this is how we can decide the number of minimum counts. Okay. So this is all about how we can choose the number of counts and all those things. If you look at this chapter initially we was talking about a term.
Sir.
Yes. Tell me. Bolo.
Hello, sir. Can you?
Yeah.
Sir, this second line. What is the second line? Minimum sample like that. You written something like.
Each station is to be 30. Minimum sample from each station is to be 30.
Sir, how comes 30 comes? Because answer is 11.
11 is the total minimum number of station. There was total 100 station. So how many stations are required for survey? Using this calculation we have calculated. Okay, that we need to survey for at least 11 stations. Okay, so that we got from this calculation only. And this 30 I am talking about from the earlier we have learned that minimum sample to be collected from each station is 30. I told in some class to you that for each station at least 30 data are to be collected.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Told sometimes. Okay, so that's what I have written, and this is written from this calculation. Okay, so this part is over. Next we will go to the new topics. Travel time and delay studies. Okay, so till now what we did, we have studies basically about the number of vehicles, basically volume, flow, then what is the density, what is the speed. Okay, now suppose you then number of samples to be collected and all those things. Now suppose you want to go from one location to another location. So time involved. Say one link to another link if you want to go, so time involved. So that time is called the travel time. So once there is a travel time, then if you want to go one location to another location, there may be different types of hindrance to you to reach that particular location. Like there may be a traffic police, traffic jam, there may be traffic signal, or there may be many other things which will affect your journey. So because of that, what will happen? Your journey time will increase. Your journey time increase means your delay is occurring. Because suppose you want to go from New Delhi to Naharlagun and if everything is fine, then you say it may take hardly 5 minutes to 6 minutes. But since the road condition is not good, there are traffic signals, there are traffic jams, and a lot of other things are there. So because of that, what we do, if you want to go from Nirjula to Naharlagun, we take 20 minutes. So 20 minutes is actually not the journey time. Though it has occurred, the journey time you took 20 minutes, but actually it was 5 to 6 minutes. So another extra 14 minutes is basically your delay. So 14 minutes delay was there. So if you want to study the delay, you need to study the travel time. Okay, so you have to first see what is the travel time, and then you can find out the delay. Okay, how delay occurs and what are the different reasons why we should take all these things that you will see in this class. Okay, so travel time. What is travel time? If somebody asks you what is travel time, travel time is basically the total time taken to reach a destination, or total time taken by a vehicle to reach the destination. A simple way we can say this is the travel time. Now within the travel time there is another component is there, that is called running time. What is this running time? Running time is the time on which the vehicle was actually on motion. This vehicle was actually moving. Suppose that I told you earlier that if you want to go from Nirjuli to Naharlagun, so say in between there is a junction. Just if you start, then that Bagatinali there is a junction. Then if you go a little bit ahead, just before reaching to the Naharlagun, there is a police point. Sometimes police used to stop the vehicles. And though we don't have any, I think signals, any other signal is there. Maybe there may be some other signal or something is there. And before you reach, there may be some kind of traffic jam also. Before you reach, say from that, just before reaching this Maruti showroom and all those things, from there you will start the traffic jam, and then finally you will reach here. So you see, to go from this location to this location, there was at least 1, 2, 3 and 4 times stoppage was there. So each stoppage time vehicle will spend sometimes here, everywhere, sometimes place, and then finally we have reached in this location. So if you deduct from your total travel time, you deduct the stoppage time, then whatever the time left, that time is called the running time. So on that particular time, the vehicle was actually on motion. Okay, so that's why running time we say that when the vehicle is actually in motion, so whatever the time it is spent on motion, that time is basically called the running time. So running time will be no doubt less than or equal to travel time. Why? Because sometimes it may happen that there is no hindrance, and whatever with the time you are in motion, and by that time the vehicle has reached the destination. So there was no stoppage time, so running time is equal to travel time. But majority of the cases, running time will be less than travel time. So we can say that running time is less than or equal to travel time. Okay, so if you want to write definition, you can write down running time. Running time is the time a vehicle is actually in motion while traversing a given section of highway. While traversing a given section of highway. Okay. Next term comes delay. What is delay? Delay is the time lost by a vehicle due to the reasons beyond the control of the driver. Delay is the time lost by a vehicle due to the reason beyond the control of the driver. So driver cannot do, if there is a traffic jam, driver cannot do anything, driver has to stop. Or if there is a say junction, so driver has to stop, there is no option. Till he doesn't get the pass, he cannot cross the junction. So he has to stop, so there is no control. So because of the control which is not in the hand of driver, so whatever with the time driver is losing, that time is called the delay. Next, another kind of delay is there, that called operational delay. What is that? Write down. It is that part of the delay caused by the impedance of other traffic. Like I am talking about traffic jam. The traffic jam is the delay. Because of the traffic jam is the operational delay. Because the operation on that particular section is not good, not well managed. If it was managed properly, then there should not have any kind of traffic jam. So there should not be any kind of delay. So this delay is because of the lack in operation. Okay. So you can note down. Operational delay is that part of the delay caused by the impedance of other traffic. This impedance can occur either as side friction, where the stream flow is interfered by other traffic. Say other traffic are crossing, or somehow there was other traffic, say merging traffic is there or diverging traffic is there. You know merging traffic or diverging traffic when say two roads. So this is one road. Okay, some vehicle are coming from this side, and this is another road. Some vehicles coming, and at certain location you will find that both the vehicle has merged together and it became a single road somewhere. Okay, so this is called the merging traffic. Okay, when the vehicles are coming from this side, so it is merging traffic. On the other, this is a merging traffic. On the other way, it may happen like that. This one. Okay, vehicles are coming from this side and they are diverting. This is diverting this side, and these are called diverging traffic. So here also, due to the operational problem in this particular location, there may be traffic jams, or here maybe. Here jams delay may occur more because of the converging. Both the streams are converging together, so there is a chances of delay. Here chances of delay will be less, but still there may be a chances of delay. Suppose a vehicle want to cross this side, but if it is a single line and 2-3 vehicles are approached which are going in this direction, so one vehicle may wait sometimes, so that because of that sometimes delay may occur. Okay, so these are the delays which are basically the operational delay. Okay, next type of delay is called the stop time delay. Stop time is that part of the delay during which the vehicle is at rest. Okay, so some reason the vehicle was at rest, then we call this the stop time delay. Say you are going by a government bus, say from Bandardua to Itanagar. There is a bus stand, a PST bus stand at Naharlagan. Okay, so they may have fixed some time to take rest at Naharlagan bus stand because of the passenger alighting, or maybe say for taking tea and all other things. So this delay, because vehicle was at the rest time, so this delay will be called the stop time delay. Next, fixed delay, another type of delay. It's called fixed. So what is that delay? Fixed delay is that part of the delay caused by the control devices such as traffic signals. These delays occur regardless of the traffic volume or the impedance that may exist. Suppose there is a traffic signal, and while going from one location to another location, here a traffic signal is there. So whether only you are running on the road or thousands of vehicles are running on the road does not matter. Whenever if you arrive here and if some reason this part is open, then you have to wait here. You cannot cross this section till you do not get the green signal. So even there is a one vehicle also still have to wait, or if there are thousands of vehicles, there still has to wait. Okay, so these are basically some purposeful delays. That delay will occur even irrespective of the number of vehicle, irrespective of the flow or density. Okay, so this type of delays are called fixed delay. Okay, so delay due to traffic signal. Okay, it is a fixed delay. Last part is another point. Travel time delay. What is travel time delay? Just listen, then I will tell you. Travel time delay is the difference between the actual travel time and the travel time that will be obtained by assuming that a vehicle traverses the study section at an average speed equal to that for an uncongested traffic flow on the section being studied. What is trying to say that suppose to reach from A to B, it is if there is no other hindrance, no other vehicle is there, say it is supposed to take say 10 minutes. Now when the vehicles are going to a destination, no doubt there will be other vehicles also on the road section. Some other type of small hindrance will be there, even if there though traffic jams or traffic signals are still. On average time, you will not be able to reach to the destination by 10 minutes. Maybe if you are running only alone on the road section, there is no other vehicle, you can reach by 10 minutes. But when some other vehicles are there on the road sections, so on an average, you cannot reach by 10 minutes. You will reach on that particular location, say by 12 minutes or by 13 minutes or maybe say 14 minutes or 15 minutes. Even still some there will be some there because of the presence of the other vehicles. Okay, so that always what you will do, you will go by average speed. You will not go always by faster speed, because faster speeds if you will go only when you are alone, but you will go by average speed, so you will take some average travel time, not the fastest travel time. So the difference between these two, fastest travel time and the average travel time, the difference between these two is called the travel time delay. Okay, actually that it is required only 10 minutes, but since there are some other vehicles present on the road or small disturbances were there on the road, so on an average a vehicle may take 12 to 13 minutes to reach their destination. The difference between these two travel time is called the travel time delay. Okay, so there are delay itself in the travel times. Okay, so these are the different methods, different definition of travel time and delays. Now we will see how to find out or how to conduct the travel time and delay studies in field, actual field. Okay, let us go there. Write on the heading. Methods of conducting travel time and delay studies. Methods of conducting travel time and delay studies. There are various methods are there to do the studies for travel time and delay. Okay, so these methods are basically grouped into three classes. Okay, so there are three classes of different methods: class 1, Number 1 is called using test vehicle. Using, I'm telling you what I am writing here. Using test vehicle. Class में हो भाई. I'll call you at 6 o'clock. Using test vehicle. And then number 2, without test vehicle. Without test vehicle. And number 3, using intelligent transportation system technologies. Intelligent transportation systems. Okay, so there are 3 categories are there by which we can conduct the travel time and delay studies. First category is those methods which use test vehicle. Test vehicle means you need a sample vehicle to do the study. Okay, using that sample vehicles and using different techniques, you can do the study and we can find out what is the travel time required to go for it one location to another location. Okay. Then there are some techniques are there where you don't need the test vehicle. Without test vehicle also still we can find out the travel time required. Okay, and then some intelligent transportation system techniques. Okay, some modern technique that also we can use and we can find out what is the travel time. Okay, we'll take one by one. First we will take using test vehicle. That is methods requires a test vehicle. Okay. Methods require a test vehicle or using test vehicle. Methods require test vehicle means there are some methods are there which can be used for finding the travel time using a test vehicle, means one particular vehicle unit. Okay. Suppose if I install a GPS on a particular vehicle, then using that GPS I can travel the path, as well as we can use a watch and we can find out how much time the vehicle is taken. So this is one technique. Simply we can use a stopwatch and a GPS on the vehicle. So by why I am saying GPS, because by GPS we can get the actual distance rather than relying on the odometer or this vehicle's meter reading, because vehicle meter reading will not give you the distance, it will give you the average speed and maybe the time you can find out, but still there will be an issue because you cannot maintain the exactly average speed or constant speed always. So what it is better to install a GPS and see by that GPS how much distance you have traveled and use a stopwatch and you can find out this. Okay, so this is one way we can find out. Or otherwise, suppose you see the vehicle on a vehicle and keep on finding out the time taken to reach from one destination to another destination. Say you know what is the distance of these two particular locations. Say we know the milestones are given on the road section. So in the milestone, we know this is the distance and you keep on checking that how much time it is taking. So like that, you can use a test vehicle and you can find out what is the travel time. So specifically some methods are given. So first methods under that, it is called floating car technique. Floating car techniques. What is floating car techniques is that you take a test vehicle and the driver, maybe the driver will be the known person, that you know how the driver is running, or you put a students or somebody, some person on the vehicle and ask the driver that you maintain the average speed and move along the traffic stream. Basically, it is asking you to float on the stream. Like if you put a boat on the water and allow the boat to move along the flow of the water, that means we can say that the boat is floating on the road. Similarly, if you put a vehicle and ask the driver that okay, you float along the streams, okay, don't go for with a very high speed or don't go with a very low speed. On an average, you maintain the speed and you float on that particular stream. So like that, if you ask the driver to float it, it will take on an average time to reach a particular destination. Okay. Now what you have to do, you ask the driver that you take the driver for a number of time, because one time say it takes 10 minutes, that doesn't mean that it will always take 10 minutes. Again you say in morning hours you have given the driver, again say after 1 hour you ask him to, again you float it. Like that you may take say, several turn on that same particular section, and then you take their average. So that average will give you the travel time of that particular locations, that is from that particular destinations, from station A to station B. Okay, so this is how we can find out the travel time. And now how it will float? It will float in such a way that suppose when a vehicle is running on the road section, say 10 vehicle has crossed that particular vehicle. Now you ask the driver that you also cross the 10 vehicle. Then it will be on average. Now otherwise what will happen, because it may happen that all the vehicles are crossing your test vehicle, and your test vehicle is running with a lesser speed. So you do not know whether it is running with a lesser speed or it is going with a higher speed. To compromise that, what you can do, if say 10 vehicle has crossed the test vehicle, you ask the driver that now you increase the speeds and you also overtake the 10 vehicles. So in that case what will happen, the compensation will be there. Once it means that on that particular section, maybe say when 10 vehicles are overtaking your vehicle, it means that you can run with a faster speed on that particular location. So you maintain the faster speed because you are running with a lower speed. That's why other vehicles are crossing you. So you maintain with a higher speed. So that way you can maintain the average time. Okay, or average speed will also be maintained. So like that, you take some samples and then you take their average. So that average will give you the travel time to reach from one location to another location. Now just simply randomly we cannot take that how many tests is to be carried out. So for that one equation is similar to the earlier also used to calculate that what should be the number of sample to be collected on a particular location. If you go for that, I have given you one equation. A similar equation we can use here also, and you can find out okay, how many test sample you required for floating car technique. It is given like that. For floating car technique, number of test sample is equal to n T alpha sigma by d whole square. Similar to the earlier equation, here n is the number of sample size, minimum number of the sample size, or minimum number of the test run is to be carried out. Then what is the alpha? Alpha is the standard deviation of the speed. Okay, standard deviation of speed. Okay, D is the allowable error. Okay, and alpha is the significance level. Alpha is significance level, and T alpha is again the value of students T distribution with respect to 1 minus alpha by 2 confidence level and n minus 1 degree of freedom. 1 minus alpha by 2 confidence level and n minus 1 degree of freedom. Okay, so this is the meaning of T alpha. Okay, so once we get this value from the table T distribution table, and if we have the standard deviation of the speed and the allowable error amount, then using this equation we can find out the number of sample run you will require for that particular applications. Okay, so this is how we can use the plotting curve technique to find out the travel time. Next technique is called average speed technique. Average speed technique. In this technique, what you are doing, you are asking a driver to run from one location to another location with his average speed. Okay, whatever way the driver feels that okay, this is my average speed and I should run with that speed only, then you find out what is the time taken by the vehicle. Like that, you go for some samples, maybe multiple run, and take their average, and that will give you the average travel time. See, earlier case what we did, number of vehicles which has crossed the test vehicle, the same number of vehicles the test vehicle is also crossed. But here we are not doing the same. Here we are giving the driver the freedom that okay, you take your own time, maintain a standard speeds, and go from one location to another location. Check the travel time. So this is basically called average speed techniques. Okay, just within average you are saying that okay, how much travel time required. This is one type of technique. Okay, I am not writing much here. Next one is moving vehicle technique. Moving vehicle technique. In your previous course, Transpiration 2, have you done moving observer method? आपने moving observer method सुना है वर्ड Transpiration 2 में?
Sir, yeah.
What is that moving observer method?
Sir, we have some observers.
I have not
Those
taken.
who
Yeah, what is that?
Sorum sir, he gave us assignment upon this thing.
What is that?
This we have to write something upon this moving vehicle method, moving observer method.
Moving observer method.
So here, sir, the observer will count how many vehicles are overtaking it and how many vehicles it is overtaking. And then they will also measure the time simultaneously, that how much time it takes to move from one place to other place, like that. And again, it will return to the same position from where it started. So like this, something simple.
Like this, what will you find?
Travel time, I think.
No?
So again, by travel time, we find out flows are like that. Like that.
By that method, moving observer method, you used to calculate the flow. Okay, what is the average flow of the stream? Okay, a similar method we can use here, and you can find out what is the time taken by the vehicles. Okay, so this method is called moving vehicle technique. Okay, let us see in details what is this technique and how to find out, since you have not done it because you have done only in terms of assignment. So let us see it. Okay. Okay, so this is the median. So this is one road and this is another road. Okay, this is west direction and this is east direction. Okay. I have done in Western systems, no problem. Our system, this will be here in this direction, this will be in this direction. ऐसा है ना? हम left side पे चला था, ये go for right side anyway. ठीक है. Okay, so let us say this is a road section, and I have taken two location. One is x-axis location, another is y-y location, and this is east direction vehicles are moving, and this is west direction vehicles are moving. But basically, we can say this x-axis direction vehicles are going, and here towards y-y direction vehicles are moving. Okay, just a reverse anyway, so to match with the books I have done a reverse. Otherwise, even if this is west also, here the direction will be in this way. Actually, the vehicle direction will be here. In Indian system, it will be ऐसा होता है ना Indian system में. It will be in this. This should be the movements of the vehicle, right?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, then it will be a confusion. Anyway, no problem. Okay, so this is the section we have done. Now let us see how the vehicles are moving. The observer start collecting the relevant data at section XX. Okay. Drive the car eastward to section YY. We are not say, we will say like that. Okay, say the car is driving towards west from section YY. Okay, and another car is driving towards east from section XX. Is correct? So these vehicles are moving towards east, and these vehicles are moving towards. Same thing I have written. Car driving towards west from section YY and towards east from section XX. Okay. The time it takes to travel. Okay. Now, when the vehicles are traveling from one location to another location, we have to mention their time. Okay, so you note down. Time it takes to travel from XX to YY. Okay, say it is TE because it in east directions I am giving E. Okay, this is XS and this is YY. So YY in east directions I am giving a suffix with E. Okay, then similarly, time it takes to travel from YY to XX. Okay, from this YY to XX. This is the western direction. So let us say this is T W. Okay, so both are in terms of minute. Next, write down the number of vehicles. The number of vehicles traveling in the opposite lane while the test car was traveling in east. So that is, I'm saying as NE. Just note down, see here what I have written. The number of vehicles traveling in the opposite lane while the test car was traveling in east direction. Just check that. When the test car was traveling in east direction, if you say this is my test car, when the test car was traveling in east direction, how many vehicles were traveling in the opposite direction? That is denoted by NE. Okay, so our movement is XX to YY. Next, write down the number of vehicles traveling, number of vehicles that overtake the test vehicle or car, whatever. The number of vehicles that overtake the test vehicle while it was traveling from YY to XX, that is in westbound direction. Westbound direction. Let's say this value is, as per this it is even Q, not QW. Write down this as OW. I'll tell you once again what I am writing here. What is said that the number of vehicles that overtake the test vehicle while it was traveling from YY to XX, that is in the westbound direction. Let us see, go back. While it was traveling from YY to XX. Okay, when the test vehicle was traveling in this direction, so this is the test vehicle. In this direction, that is the westbound direction, the number of vehicles that has overtaken the test vehicle. Number of vehicles that is overtaken that, this is the number of vehicles that is overtaken the test vehicle. Okay, this number I am denoting as OW. Okay. Yes, sir. The number of vehicles that overtake the test vehicle while it was traveling from YY to XX, that is in westbound direction, is given as OW. Okay. Next, the number of vehicles, the test vehicle, number of vehicles the test vehicle overtakes or passes, while it was traveling from YY to XX, that is in westbound direction, that is in westbound direction. Let us say this value is PW. So what I am saying, I will just show in the figure. When the vehicle was traveling in westbound direction, that is from YY to XX, this vehicle has also overtaken some vehicles. Okay, because that means what? These are the vehicles which are overtaken by this vehicle. Okay, so this is denoted by PW. Okay, that's what it is written. This is denoted by PW. Number of vehicles that the test vehicle overtakes or passes while it was traveling from YY to XX. It is denoted by PW. then the volume in the westbound direction can be calculated. Before this calculation, I will give you the derivation how it is actually calculated. Okay, just give me a second. In this book they have given directly the answer. I don't want to give you the answer directly. This is the compressor. Anyway. Okay, I will show you that derivation later on. Okay, before that, let us see how to calculate the time. Okay, and I will show you that derivation. Otherwise, these symbols and all things will be mixed up. Okay. Now let us write down the volume. The volume BW. BW means what I am saying is I am trying to say that the volume in the westbound direction. Okay. The volume in the westbound direction can be obtained from the following expression. Basically, without telling how this expression come in, anyway. First you write down that, then I will tell you this derivation. NE plus OW minus PW into 60 divided by TE plus TW. What was the T? T is the travel time in east direction. TW is the travel time in west direction. What is the NE? What is the OW? OW is the number of vehicles that has overtaken the test vehicle. PW is the number of vehicles that test vehicle has overtaken. And N is the number of vehicle when the test vehicle was going eastward direction, but the number of vehicles that was traveling on the opposite lane. That's why it is denoted by E, because the test, in terms of test vehicle, the symbols are given. So test vehicle was actually traveling in east direction, but the number of vehicle counted in west direction. Here now the number of vehicle that overtaken the test vehicle, and PW is the number of vehicle that the test vehicle has overtaken. So this total divided by the time. Volume is basically flow divided by time. Okay, so time here we have taken in terms of minute. So to convert it into in terms of hour, that 60, this value was divided by 60, so it has gone top, so it has become 60 here. Okay. Now what does this indicate? This value. Okay, this value you can write down NE plus OW minus PW indicate the number of vehicles traveling westward. Number of vehicles traveling in westward direction during the time T plus TW. Okay, T plus TW. How it was? Because what was the T? T was the time the vehicle has taken while going from this XX to YY. During this time, the total number of vehicles that has crossed this section was how much? NE. And TW, this was the time T. And TW is the time when the test vehicle is also moving from YY to XX, and the total number of vehicles that has overtaken the test vehicle, and the total number of vehicles the test vehicle has overtaken. Okay, so this is the situation. Okay, so all this was talking about the vehicles only in this opposite lane. It was talking about the vehicle of the opposite lane. So opposite lane, what is the total vehicle has gone? That has been calculated. And what is the total time taken? This is the time. So total vehicle divided by total time is nothing but volume. So that's why this equation is written. Volume is equal to number of vehicles counted divided by the time. Okay. Now we want to know what is the average travel time. Okay, so that we can calculate. So similar approach if we apply, then we also can find out what is the travel time in the other direction, or volume on the other direction. This was the volume on the westward direction. Okay, this was the volume on the westward direction. Similarly, we can find out what should be the volume in the eastward direction. Okay, so volume in eastward direction, what will be that? In similar terms, this value will be NW plus, it will be OE minus T divided by, it will be T plus TW, whole thing multiplied by 60. Whole thing multiplied by 60. Okay. So what is the, so this is the volume. Okay, now we are interested to know what is the average travel time of the west direction. If you say the average travel time of the west direction is T suffix TW dash or TW over, then average this is the time that I am taking in terms of minute, convert it into hour. So this will be this divided by this. This is nothing but equal to total vehicle that has crossed on west direction when we have taken the time TW. What was the total vehicle? That was OW minus PW. And what was the volume? Volume was BW. Okay. Okay, just timing, you note down that. I'll tell you this, all this component, how it was derived actually. This component you cannot understand like that. Okay, timing you just note down. I will go back and I will tell you the actual derivation. Then you will be able to understand how this time came from here. Okay, so I will go for the first I will go for this moving observer method. Then I will give you the moving vehicle technique for finding out the average time. Okay, so let us see what is moving observer method. Today, initially I am supposed to do this, then I am supposed to tell you that moving observer method for finding flow. Okay, flow of the vehicles we are interested to find out using the moving observer method. Okay, so let us assume that some vehicles are moving, or a stream is moving from one direction to the another direction, or say from X and Y. This is again I am telling you the same thing, XX, and this is Y. Okay, so how to collect the volume in this road section in the moving zone? Let us say that the length of this section, you note down. Okay, I will not write, otherwise it will take a lot of time. You note down what are the information you require. Okay, I am just telling you. Okay. And in this method, basically an observer in a test vehicle starts from a point A or point X and moves against the stream being measured at a speed of VA. Say okay, this is one direction and this is another direction. So when this vehicle was going from X to Y, the average speed of this stream was VA. Okay, and it has taken a time T to reach this particular location. Just note down. Let MOW, MPW, then MOA and MPA respectively are the number of vehicles that overtake the test vehicle when the test vehicle is moving with the stream. What I am trying to say that this is the number of vehicle that has been overtaken by the test vehicle when the test vehicle was moving with the stream. It means when the test vehicle was moving, this is the test vehicle which was moving with the stream. So number of vehicles that has overtaken the test vehicle. If you say this is the number of vehicles that has overtaken the test vehicle when the test vehicle was moving with the stream. And this is the number of vehicle which was overtaken by the test vehicle when the test vehicle was moving with the stream. Okay, that means this vehicle has overtaken the test vehicle and test vehicle has overtaken this test vehicle when it was moving with the stream. Okay, that's what it is saying. Number of vehicles that overtake the test vehicle when the test vehicle is moving with the stream. So this is the number of vehicles that is overtake the test vehicle when the test vehicle is moving with the stream. Then the number of vehicles that the test vehicle overtakes when moving with the stream. So this is the number of vehicles which the test vehicle has passed or overtaken. Okay, when the test vehicle was moving with the stream, that means when the test vehicle was moving from A to B or from XX to YY direction. The next MOA क्या है? The number of vehicles that overtake the test vehicle when the test vehicle is moving against the stream. When the test vehicle was moving against the stream, this is your stream. I am talking about this stream, but test vehicle was say moving in this direction. When the test vehicle was moving in this direction, how many vehicle has overtaken the test vehicle? Okay, so this is with a defined color I am trying. How many vehicle has overtaken the test vehicle when the test vehicle was moving against the stream? Because I am interested to find out the stream flow for this stream, that is X to Y. So when the test vehicle was coming in this direction, how many vehicle has overtaken? So this is denoted by MOA, and this is the number of vehicle that test vehicle has overtaken or test vehicle has passed the number of vehicle against the stream. So that is denoted by MPA. So that's why it is saying the last one. And the number of vehicles that the test vehicle overtakes while moving against the stream. Number of vehicles that test vehicle overtakes while moving against the stream. Okay, this is the. So these are the 4 parameters or 4 information that we have to collect from the field. Next, now consider the following thought. Let there be a stream of vehicles where some are moving at speed U1. So initially this was there are a lot of vehicles are there. So all these vehicles, some of the vehicles are moving with a speed of U1 and a density of K1, and some other vehicles are also there. So their average speed say U2 and density K2. Okay. So when the vehicles are moving from say X to Y, some of the vehicles are moving with a speed of U1 and density K1. And some other vehicles are moving with the speed of U2 and density K2. Okay, and my test vehicle, which was running here, say this was running with a speed of BW. Okay, so same thing. Let there be a stream of vehicles where some are moving at a speed of u1 and density k1, and the others are moving at a speed of u2 and density k2. Let the test vehicle speed is bw. So which vehicles the test vehicle will be able to overtake or test vehicle will pass? Whosoever the speed is less than the test vehicle speed. Let us say the stream with speed u1 or u1 is less than bw. u1 is less than bw. That means the vehicle which are moving with the speed of u1, all the vehicle will, our test vehicle will pass all these vehicles. Again, if you say u2 is more than bw, that means the vehicles which are moving with the speed of u2, all those vehicles will pass the test vehicle. Right? So that's why we are choosing the test vehicle in such a way that the test vehicle speed is greater than u1 and less than u2. Because of that, some of the vehicle has overtaken the test vehicle, and the test vehicle has also overtaken some of the vehicles. Okay, so this is the condition. So let the test vehicle speed is bw, and bw, what we have written, bw is greater than u1 and bw is less than u2. So what we can write? So what is this? Let there is a term I am using. I will tell you what is the term. This is equal to I am writing k2 into u2 minus bw into tw. One more thing I let the total time taken by the vehicle while moving with the stream is tw. Okay, if the total time taken by the vehicle when moving with the stream is tw, and this is what this I have written the relative speed. Okay, you see here the relative speed of the vehicle which has crossed the test vehicle, that is u2 minus b2, because u2 I said u2 is more than bw. So if you find out the difference, that is called relative speed. Now speed and the density of that stream. What is the speed into density is what? Speed into density into time. What will you get? Here we have written speed into density. This is density into time. What is this? If you remember, Q equal to what we have written? K into
kv.
So V is the speed, K is the density, right? And if you multiply this with time, so you are multiply this Q with time. So what do you look at? Number of vehicle, right? So this is basically the number of vehicle which has overtaken the test vehicle while moving with the stream. Okay, what I have calculated? I have calculated the number of vehicle that has overtaken the test vehicle while moving with the stream. That we have written earlier. If you see the previous slides, this what was MOW? MOW, if you see here, is the number of vehicle that has overtaken the test vehicle while the test vehicle was moving with the stream. Okay, the same equation. Number of vehicle that has overtaken the test vehicle while the test vehicle was moving with the stream. That is nothing but is equal to density of the vehicles which has overtaken multiplied by the time multiplied by the relative speed, because the relative speed was higher, that's why they have overtaken. Okay, so this is how we can calculate this way. Now at the same time, test vehicle has also overtaken some vehicle. What was that? That I said MPW. MPW is the when the test vehicle was moving with the stream, how many vehicle the test vehicle has passed. That's why P means passed. So that how we can find out again using the density of the lower stream, that is the vehicle whose speed was less. So what will be that? That will be what is the relative speed? BW minus U1 multiplied by TW. Here why I have taken this reverse, because BW is more than U1, otherwise it will be negative speed. So BW is more than U1 because the relative speed of the test vehicle was higher than the speed of the stream U1. So that's why they have crossed. So how many vehicles it has crossed? It has crossed this many vehicles. Okay. Now find out the difference between this. Okay, so difference between this. MO W minus MPW. Let us say this is denoted by MW. So this is equal to what we can write, same expression, K2 into U2 minus BW TW minus K1 into BW minus U1 TW. देख सकते हैं? What is this? How we can? Now what is K2 into U2? Density into speed will give you what? Density into speed means flow.
Flow.
Flow basically. No? Density into speed is flow. So here you can write Q2. देख सकते हैं? Q2 into TW. This K2 into U2 I have written in terms of Q2. So Q2 into TW minus K2 BW TW as it is I have written minus again K1 BW TW. Now this minus plus K1 into U1 is what? Q1 and TW. So this is equal to Q2 plus Q1 into TW. I am taking together. Okay, then minus. To take minus common here, what is left? K2. Here K2 and K1 I can write like that. K1 and this BW TW are common. BW into TW. देख सकते हैं? Now what I said initially the total traffic stream I have divided into two parts. One part I said moving with the speed of U1 and density K1. So what was their flow? That was Q1. Another part I said it was moving with the speed of U2 and density K2. So what was their flow? Q2. Now if I combine both the streams together, what will you get? If I combine these two streams together, it will give you the average stream flow. Okay, so it will give you the average stream flow. That means I can say that Q1 plus Q2 is nothing but equal to Q, total flow of the stream. So in this expression I can write what it was, MW, no? MW is equal to, in place of Q1 plus Q2, I can write Q. That is the stream flow. Stream flow into TW. Then what was there? Minus K2 plus K1 density. Density I have divided into two parts. Now if I combine them together, that will give you the total density. So total density will be K into, it was what was that? BW TW. Now TW is common here. So what is left? Q minus K BW TW. That is, so MW is equal to Q minus K BW TW. Okay, let us give some expression number. I do not know what will be that expression number. What was first expression? This was expression number, say 1, this is 2, this is 3, then this will be 4. Okay, MW is equal to Q minus K BW into TW. Now, till now what we said that our test vehicle was moving with the stream Okay, when the test vehicle was moving with the stream, then what we did, we have calculated the difference between the number of vehicles that has overtaken the test vehicle and the number of vehicles the test vehicle has overtaken. This is the number of vehicles that has overtaken the test vehicle, and this is the number of vehicles the test vehicle has overtaken. So that difference we have calculated when the test vehicle was moving with the stream. That means when the test vehicle was moving from X to Y direction. Okay, now we'll go for the reverse one. When the test vehicle moves against the stream. Okay. So our objective was to find out the flow of this road, that is the road which is moving from X to Y direction. Okay, that was our objective, find out the flow. So when the test vehicle will come in this direction, that means it is against the flow. Your flow is X to Y direction, but test vehicle is coming from Y to X direction. Okay, so that's why we are saying that it is the against the flow. So how to do that? Okay, just you can note down. I am not writing here. All the vehicles in the stream in effect overtake the test vehicle, and the test vehicle overtakes none. I'll tell you once again. When the test vehicle moves against the stream, all the vehicles in the stream overtake the test vehicle, and the test vehicle overtakes none. What does it mean? This is again I am telling x and this is y. This is your stream width. Okay, we are interested to find out the flow of this stream. So when the vehicle are moving from this direction to this direction, we have seen how many vehicles has crossed this and how many vehicle the test vehicle has overtaken. Now the test vehicle is coming in this direction. So test vehicle in this direction coming means what? Means ये road पे in this road, because this vehicle has moved from this to this and then want to come here, but while moving from this to this direction, all the vehicles are moving in this direction, right? So this test vehicle, before reaching in this direction, all the vehicle has already reached in this direction. Again I am saying, the vehicle which are coming from this direction, they have already reached in this particular location before the test vehicle reach in this location. That means what? That means all the vehicle has overtaken the test vehicle, but test vehicle has overtaken nothing. When the test vehicle was with the stream, all the vehicle which are against the stream has overtaken the test vehicle, but test vehicle could not overtake a single vehicle, because the definition of if you say the reaching means overtaking means what? Overtaking means you are reaching to a particular destination before some other reach. So before I reach to section XX, all other vehicle has reached. That's why we are saying that all the vehicle has overtaken the test vehicle. While the test vehicle was with the stream, all the vehicle which are against the stream, that has overtaken the test vehicle. So there is nothing left that the test vehicle will overtake. Okay, so test vehicle cannot overtake anything because everybody has overtaken the test vehicles. Okay, now we have to know the same thing. That MW earlier we have calculated. What was that MW? MW was number of vehicle which has overtaken minus the number of vehicle the test vehicle has overtaken. Similarly here also if I calculate, just write down this earlier equation. what was the MW? MW was number of vehicle, the test vehicle that has overtaken the test vehicle minus number of vehicle the test vehicle is overtaken. Similarly, if I want to find out this MA, what will be that? ये W का जगह में A हो जाएगा. This minus MA P. This will be the equation. What does this indicate? What is this? This is number of vehicle that has overtaken the test vehicle, and this is number of vehicle that test vehicle overtakes. But when the test vehicle was with the stream, उसका opposite direction में test vehicle cannot overtake a single vehicle. That means this value will become 0. Okay, so MA is nothing but equal to MOA. Okay, what we have seen earlier, MW. What was MW? MW was Q minus K BW TW. So what will be this value? This value will be similar way you can calculate. It will be Q. Now here it will not be minus, it will be plus. I'll just show you how it is plus. KBA into TA. Okay, I can define it. Okay, what we have written earlier. What was MOW? What was MOW? If we just go back, that was K2 into U2 minus BW into TW. Similarly, we can write MOA. What will be MOA? MOA will be, say at that time, again I am dividing into two streams. Say one stream is K2 dash and the speed of that stream was U2 dash minus when the vehicle was traveling with the stream, its speed is BA and the time taken is say TA. Earlier when the vehicle was with the stream, I have told that the time taken is PW. Now against the stream, so against the stream say the time taken is TA. Okay, and against the stream say the average speed was BA, so I have written it like that. Okay, then earlier what I have written? I have written MPW. What was that MPW? That was K1 into BW minus U1 TW. Similar fashion I can write down MPA. What is MPA? MPA will be equal to K1 dash BW minus U1 dash TA. Okay, but what we know that this vehicle has not overtaken a single vehicle. Since this vehicle has not overtaken a single vehicle, so what will be the density here? The density here, it will be 0. Okay, so this value will become actually 0, or timing you keep it like that. Okay, now we are interested to find out the difference of MA. So what is MA? MA is equal to MOA minus MPA. So what is MOA equation I have written here? MOA equation is this one. That is K2 dash U2 dash minus BA TA, right? Minus what is MPA? MPA is K1 dash BW. K1 dash BA minus U1 dash and TA. And the same fashion if I write K2 U2 is what? K2 U2 is nothing but I can say Q2 dash and this one plus Q1 dash and whole multiplied by TA. Okay, and then minus if you come here K2 dash BA TA minus K1 dash BA TA. So here it will be, we can say Q into TA. Okay, and minus what will be there, K2 dash plus K1 dash BA TA. So Q TA, this is 0, so this is nothing but K लिखा, टेस्ट पे चलेगा टेस्ट just a minute. This the relative speed between the test vehicle and the stream is the sum of their speed. Between the test vehicle and the stream is sum of their speed. This is सही लिखा मैंने, माइनस sum. This will be sum in this case. Okay. Total number of vehicles. That is okay. This will be sum in this case. Okay. Then this value will be sum. So this value will be basically minus here, and क्या हो गया यहाँ में, this will be minus and this will be plus. Okay. So if I take this plus, then this will be this minus. Anyway, I'll check and let you know. Okay, here a plus symbol will come. So ultimately this will be MA equal to Q plus KBA into T. Okay, I'll check that why this symbol is not coming. Here it should be plus. Okay, now next comes. Now what we are interested, our objective is now the flow. Now the distance what was the distance? Distance traveled was L. Okay, and when the vehicle was going with the speed, with the stream, the average speed was of the vehicle was, we said, BW, and time taken by TW. So what is the distance? Distance we can say BW TW. Total distance is nothing but equal to speed into time. Similarly, we can write L also is equal to BA TA. लिख सकते हैं these two expression. Now writing the expression, give equation number here. What was that earlier equation number? This equation number was 4. Let us say this equation number 5. Now add 4 and 5. Add equation 4 and 5. Equation 4 was, what was that? That was MW, and 5 was MA, and that is equal to, it was Q minus K BW TW plus Q plus K BA TA. Okay, so from here what we can write, we can take Q common, or just open it out, Q TW minus K BW TW plus Q TA plus K BA TA. Okay, so if you take these two expression from here, I can take Q common. What is left? TA plus TW. Now you see here, what is BW TW? BW TW is nothing but equal to, what is the meaning of BW TW? That is nothing but equal to the distance L. Similarly, what is BATA? BATA is also nothing but the distance L. Okay. So while moving with the steam, the speed was BW and time taken by TW. So what is the distance covered? L. While against the steam, speed was BA and time was TA. So what is the distance covered? BATA L. So now you see here minus KL and plus KL, that cancelled. So it becomes 0. So ultimately what is left? MW plus MA is equal to Q into TA plus TW. Or from here I can write flow is equal to MA plus MW divided by TA plus TW. This is nothing but the flow of the stream. Flow of the stream. Okay. So this is by moving observer method we can find out the flow of the stream. Okay, by calculating all these parameters. Now the same thing was used previously to find out the average time taken by the vehicles to cross the section by moving observer method, or we can say moving vehicle technique. Okay, so this part you try to understand, then tomorrow I will just revise back. Okay, that how we have calculated this part. How we have calculated this part. I'll do tomorrow I will revise it, and I will tell you how this was calculated. The same slide will be with me. I'll just go through this part. Okay. Today we'll stop here, and this plus also part I will tell you tomorrow. I'll check where is the issue. How this came plus. I'll just check it and let you know. Okay. Other than these two parts, if you have any other issue, then you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll meet at 4 o'clock. If you have anything, you ask me. Except this plus part and that how this came, that part I will tell you tomorrow. How this TW was calculated, I will tell you tomorrow class.
Sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, this is it necessary that that we have to take some specified number of observers, sir? Like say, some books say that we have to take 4 number of observers. Is it necessary, sir, or we have to just see to it that we are collecting the data in the right way, and the number of observers is not important?
It depends. It depends how many observation you are doing. Suppose you are interested to find out the stream speed of this one only, and okay, you have a 2-lane road. Then one person has to count the number of vehicles that is overtaken. So one person required. One person has to count the number of vehicles that test vehicle has overtaken. So 2 persons required. Another person has to count the number of vehicles that is coming in opposite direction. So 3 persons required, and 1 person has to maintain the time. So at least 4 persons required. Okay, this is how. Or if 1 person can manage operation, then maybe 1 person you can reduce, because these 3 operations you need 3 persons at least. And if you say one of you will maintain the time, then maybe 3 persons will be enough. But since there are 4 operations are there, so 4 persons are required at least. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any other? Anything else? Okay, if nothing is there, then I will stop here. This plus part and the TW I will repeat once again. Once you understand this, then only you can understand that part. Okay, so tomorrow we'll meet at 4 o'clock. Okay then, see you.
Thank you, sir.
That is it. Okay, you can leave.